I bought a laundromat, and here's the real math. So the last video I told you I was going to make a video about a laundromat, and the math surprised even me. Here it is. In self-storage, you pay 12 to 15 times a property's annual income to buy it. A laundromat sells for roughly 3.5 to 5.5 times its annual net income. Read that again. The same dollar of cash flow costs you a third as much. I'm going to show you a deal where the store pays back your entire cash investment in about 13 months with a full quarter by quarter P&L, including the quarter where it looks like you made a terrible mistake. 4 ways into this business, 2 buys, 2 not buys, and one word, Zombiemat, that's going to make you money. Why laundry? Why now? This is a $7.2 billion industry across 1,750 locations. And store locations counts have been slowly declining about 1.5% a year. Shrinking store count sounds bad. It's not. It's less competition for the survivors. And it means tired owners are selling. Demand doesn't shrink because laundry is a necessity with a weekly repeat customer. It's recession resistant. Demand doesn't disappear in a downturn and often increases as households trade down from in-home laundry services. Now, the metric that runs this whole business, storage had net operating income. Laundromats have turns per day. How many times each machine runs daily? A healthy store turns its machines 3 to 5 times a day. A dying one returns them at 1 to 2 per day. And the stakes are real. In a 40-washer store, losing just 1 turn per day cuts the revenue by about $5,400 a month. 1 turn. Every deal in this video comes down to buying turns cheap and adding turns fast. Remember that. The 4 models. Model 1, ground up, new build. Brand new, mid-sized location with full commercial build-outs run about $500,000 or more. And the plumbing and utility work behind those walls is where the budgets go to die. New equipment, full control, and years of ramp while you pay for it. So hold that thought. Model 2, buy a modern, optimized store at retail. Proven income, card systems, new machines, but you're paying top of the range multiples for work someone else already did. There's no gap to buy, and this whole channel is about buying that gap where you can make the money, buy it on the low end, sell it on the high end. Model 3, the asset light route, which is wash, dry, fold, and pick up and delivery. Wash, dry, fold runs $1.50 to $2 a pound, and you can start it with a van, a website, and with commercial accounts. Restaurants, salons, gyms, short-term rentals, almost no capital expenditures. So file this one. It'll come back during the verdict part. Model 4, the Zombiemat. There's the word. A Zombiemat is an independent store with poor operating discipline running single-digit margins. Coin-only machines, 20-year-old equipment, prices frozen since the last owner's knees gave out. It's the mom and pop storage facility of the laundry world. And it's the buy. Here's the actual deal. All right, the Zombiemat, the real deal. The target is 2,400 square feet, 30 washers, 28 dryers, coin only. Vend prices 25% under market, grossing $240K a year on barely 2 turns a day. Utilities are eating 30% of the revenue, the top of the normal 20 to 30% range because old, inefficient equipment drives that numbers up. Add rent, maintenance, insurance, and a part-time attendant, and this owner nets about $45K a year. Single-digit to teen margins. Textbook Zombiemat, the buy. At 3.5 times net, that's about $160,000. And here's the beautiful part. Seller financing is standard for acquisition in this business. And the seller wants out. So structure it with $60K down, and the seller will carry $100K loan to you. Get something under prime. The retool, $200K. Every dollar buying turns. Swap half the machines for new large capacity, high efficiency units. Equipment financing uses the machines themselves as collateral. So that's 10% down, card and cap payments, kills Coinbox. You don't need money in there. Cameras and smart locks to extend the unattended early morning and late night hours. Lighting, paint, flooring, a wash and dry and fold station, and a website with pickup, delivery, scheduling. Because wash and fold alone can add 30 to 50% to revenue on machines that you already own. Same fixed cost, new revenue layer. That's the whole thesis. All right, so your total cash out of pocket is $60K down on the store, $20K down on new equipment, $40K down on working capital, so $120K. So remember that number. The entire video comes down to what it turns into. Debt service on the seller note plus the equipment loan, about $54K per year. Now, every laundromat guru on this platform shows you the stabilized spreadsheet and skips the part where you're mopping at midnight wondering what the heck you've done. So not here. Quarter by quarter, starting with the mistake quarter. Chapter 4, the NewCo prorated P&L. The first quarter is the ugly quarter. Machines swapped in phases. Half the floor roped off. Regulars are annoyed. The revenue is $55K. Expenses are still bloated at the old structure while renovation disruption bites. After debt service, you're at break even maybe. This is where Zombiemat buyers panic and become Zombiemat sellers. You budgeted for this, so you keep going. Quarter 2, the re-rate. Then prices to market. That's the 25% you bought at closing. Customers stay because the alternative is hauling laundry across town to a store that's even worse than yours. Your new machines start cutting the utility bill. Your wash, dry, fold launches. Your revenue is now at $72K. Quarter 3, the layer. Pickup, deliveries live. First commercial accounts are signed. A salon, a gym, 2 short-term rental cleaners. These are contracts, not walk-ins. Recurring revenue on machines that used to sit idly on the weekday mornings now turn and climb past where they were. The revenue now is $85K. All right, the fourth quarter, the machine is now running itself. Unattended hours are extended. Utilities are down 22% with the efficient equipment. Everything is humming and your revenue is at $95K. Year 1, all in, your revenue is $307K versus $240K under the old owner during the renovation. Net operating income after the ramp is about $104K. Debt service, $54K. $50K positive cash flow in year 1. Never a negative quarter. Year 2 is stabilized. Self-service recovers to $290K on better turns and market pricing. Wash, dry, fold, and delivery at $130K. Gross is $420K. Expenses, utilities, rent, labor, everything about $255,000 NOI of $165K. That's a 37% margin, and before you call that a fantasy, net margins in this business typically run from 20 to 35% for ordinary stores. The wash, dry, fold layer and unattended hours are what push a retooled store past it. Cash flow after the $54K debt service, $111,000 a year on $120,000 invested. That's 92% cash on cash. The store hands you back your entire investment roughly every 13 months. There's the number from the open. In storage, 22% cash on cash was a home run. This is 4 times that because you bought the income at 3.5 instead of 14. In the exit, 165K of net income at a 4x multiple is 660K. You're all in around 400, including the debt. That's $250,000 in equity created out of nowhere. On top of the cash flow you repaid yourself in 1 year, in maybe a little bit, a couple months. All right, the verdict. Buy number 1, the Zombiemat retool. Buy a depressed income at 3.5x. Add turns, add wash, dry, fold, layer, re-rate to the market. The multiple is the cheat code. Nowhere else in this series do you buy $1 off of income this cheap. Buy number 2, the asset light route. I told you it was coming back. Wash, dry, fold, and pick up delivery with commercial accounts. Started for the price of a used van. It's the lowest capital entry in this entire series. It proves demand in your market. And when you're ready, you bolt it onto a Zombiemat you buy. And now the route feeds the store. The not buy, the ground up construction and optimized store at retail. One is $500,000 of plumbing and a prayer. The other is paying tomorrow's price for yesterday's work. The rule hasn't changed since the storage video. You're buying the gap between how it's run and how it should be run. Storage hid the gap in a cash box. Laundry hides it in a coin slot. This is video 6 in the series. We've done vending, AI automation, ATMs, car washes, self-storage, laundromats. The whole stack is on this channel, so subscribe because the next one's already in the pipeline and it could be the one that you actually start. Thanks for watching. See ya.